My name is Lily Manukian. I am 42 currently, and I love being a mom more than anything. My life revolves around my boys. I'm a creative person. I love making, doing things, and I dabble on almost every different aspect of creativity. I used to do more fine arts, then it transferred into designing, decorating, building things, and then that kind of creativity spilled over to teaching. So I use that to teach Sunday Bible school in my church. But primarily, I love making things physically. So when it comes to either flowers, anything really. But I'm limited with my mobility, so whatever I can do with my hands takes priority. I will do my best to tell you what happened to me. It's still difficult to try to understand, but from what happened was I contracted COVID in 2020, and after this was early before COVID was prominent, and I didn't know I had COVID until it was very complicated, meaning I was sick for about a month or so, and I thought it was just a common flu. So I just took it as a flu, and then it festered. After I got better, it festered. I got paralyzed after that, short after, on one side of my body, and then short after, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. After that, I was wheelchair bound. I was completely immobile. Since then, I'm in my fifth year now. Since then, I have transitioned from a wheelchair, completely dependent, to using a walker, four-wheel walker. And along with therapeutic treatments and insulin dependency, started to get better, but I'm not where I want to be. What was going on in my head? A lot of things happened. Fear set in, and to be honest with you, I didn't know I had COVID until I was being tested, blood work, a lot of lab work to try to figure out what's going on, because no doctor was able to diagnose. So it was a lot of difficult days going through the process, not knowing what's happening. So I dabbled on spine surgeons from mobility issues, and they just couldn't find anything wrong with me because all my body parts were functioning, except the fact that I'm paralyzed and my blood sugar is through the roof and I have no history. So in the beginning, it was pretty scary until they had an understanding, okay, we gotta treat the diabetes first. Once I was under control, then it was very difficult to try to lead a normal life, only because I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm used to being the primary caregiver to my children, and there they are in high school, and I'm unable to even get up from a position to even make a meal. That went on for some time until I guess you can say your mind goes through difficult stages of grief, and that I was able to understand, okay, this is what's happening, but even though I have no answers or no help, I'm going to rely on my faith and I'm going to get through this. So once I made a decision to get better or want to get better and not feel bad about what's happening to me, it started to take a turn, and I just did what I could, and I had to be content with being okay with what the little I was able to do. Creativity took a backseat, and I started to prioritize what's more important in life. So I learned first about hyperbarics a couple of years ago. I was living in Dallas at the time, and a doctor first mentioned what hyperbarics was, and he said, I really think that you should consider, because at this time there is no medical intervention to help me. And so I sought any kind of homeopathic or therapeutic form of treatments, since massage therapy had proven so effective. And I said, well, once I did the research on hyperbarics, understanding how circulation and movement is so beneficial, then I started researching. It took me about a year or two to come to grips with the idea to utilize help with hyperbaric chambers. And honestly, I went online on Google and I searched you guys up, and the fact that you were less than 10 miles away from me was very important because I wanted to be able to come by myself and be as mobile as possible. And once I came and researched, first actually on your website, I have to say you have so much information that was so helpful. And I want to thank you for providing all that because it did a lot of the legwork for me without physically coming in. So once I came in, I was prepared. I already knew exactly what hyperbarics was. But once I came to your facility and met all of you guys and just felt really comfortable. And because I should say that I avoid physically going places. I'm very limited to my movements. So if I choose to go to a place, I want to feel comfortable. And I think first I met Haley and she was just super sweet and everything was explained so thoroughly. And then I met all of you guys and I decided to give it a try. And I knew that I was going to require more sessions than normal person would, but I think I just kind of felt comfortable coming here. To be honest with you, the fact that you provided a seated position and I didn't have to lay down was the first comfort, because it's difficult for me because this is a nervous system disorder, and anything that kind of goes against that current is difficult for me. So the fact that I could remain seated and not have to struggle to lay down was a big game changer for me. And the fact that you guys just answered a lot of questions and you were very honest. You didn't promise you're going to miraculously cure me or heal me. You promised everything that the machine is able to do, and I really thought I had nothing to lose. So I gave it a try, and I wasn't nervous or scared because honestly it feels like nothing at all. You come, you sit, there's slight pressure in the beginning as the chamber is being pressurized, but other than that there's no discomfort feeling at all. You just got to sit and either listen to music or read something, and by the time you know it, you're done. It took a little while for me to see progress, so I had to, and this is specific to my case because I have such rare things going on. But what happened was, after I mustered the idea that, okay, I have to do certain sessions in order to see improvement, I started to notice significant improvement in all the chronic aches and pains because of my limited mobility and the way I use my muscles to walk. I've created a domino effect. So I had chronic and very annoying shoulder pains that after, I want to say about, I forget, 10 sessions, it just went away. And I've seen so many chiropractors and so many other ways to improve that, and it just wouldn't go away. And just the slightest improvement gave me motivation to continue. I brag about this a lot, and I'll tell you why, what significant improvement I saw. I use a walker, and I have never been able to drive alone to places by myself is because I cannot reach the back of the trunk to retrieve my walker. So I would have to place it on the passenger side next to me, and I would have to pull it and drag it across the driver's seat, pull it down, and then get down. What happened was, eventually, after 15 sessions or so, I realized that I have the strength to get down out of the seat by myself and leave my walker on the passenger seat behind the driver's seat. I know it sounds silly, but I have never been able to do that. So this gave me a sense of I was liberated. I had freedom to now go to places where I can plan ahead, have the walker behind me. That means I would get up by myself, make a couple of steps, retrieve my walker, and then continue to close the doors and so on and so forth. But I must say that it was just so wonderful that you guys were able to assist me to go into my car, in and out of my car until I got to that point. The fact that you guys are so accommodating, kept me wanting to come back. I'm so blessed to have such a loving family that they don't take no for an answer. They like to do everything for me. I guess that's years of love pouring back to me, I can say. But the fact that I didn't have to bother them to drive me here. I can come by myself if I had to make an errand quickly without their knowledge and go and do that. Unknowingly, apart from their awareness, I was able to do certain things, or I'm able to be more, I have more energy to interact, joke around, have a conversation, and just sort of glimpse of my personality would come out because you're no longer overshadowed by the pain and the lack of mobility. So even though the progress is slow, but it's significant enough for me because I tend to hang on to that little, and in my mind, I exaggerate it because I'm so grateful for that little progress. So that kind of helped me gain some perspective that things are going to get better and not to give up. Your staff and the help that you guys provided means a lot, and again, it made me feel comfortable enough to come. And I'm very limited to my resources, and what's the right way to put it? I tend to shy away from physical activity outside of the house. The fact that you guys were approachable and kind and understanding and comfortable to talk with, I just felt comfortable. I felt like myself, and I can just relate, and you would understand even though you had no idea what's going on. Just your kindness, your attention, and just so many things. It's hard to say. I felt comfortable, and that's a very rare thing for me right now, comfort. My personal goal is it's hard to explain, but it feels like lack of balance and is preventing me from walking on my own. And that's why I need a wheeled walker. So in order to transition from a wheeled walker to even a cane or something that I can just hold on to and it doesn't have to move steadily is what I'm hoping to cross over. And to be honest with you, I feel so comfortable that I want to continue my treatment with you. I started with 3 days a week, then to 2, now to once a week, and feels like this regimen works for me, and I want to continue this path until I get to the level where I have gained some sort of relaxed nervous system where I can stabilize, slowly wean off the walker, and hopefully use a cane. I would highly recommend not just hyperbarics, but this facility first and foremost, only because it works so well for me. But the reason I would strongly recommend hyperbaric chambers because just doing so much research that movement is such an imperative part of our well-being. When you are physically incapable of moving on your own, what hyperbaric does is it's internal circulation. It helps things move along and move better and circulate, because just for so many years of being stagnant and lethargic, and just the fact that you're unable to do certain movements, the hyperbarics does it internally without you exerting that physical force, if that makes sense. And there's no side effects. You have nothing to lose but to try. Every person's different, every body is different. I learned that from this diabetic experience. But you won't know until you try. And if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. Only because I think I had such obstacles and challenges to get here. And you have nothing to lose except to try. But I would have to say that one time is not enough. You have to give your body some time to get used to it. What happened with me was I had to make peace with the fact that now I have so much of a good thing in my body, and my body is thrown out of its current norm, and it had to accept this process, even though it was a good process, but it had to accept it and adapt to it. So for me, it took about 5 to 10 sessions for my body not to be in a stressful environment where I can start seeing the benefits. It's like, think of it like a detox process. So just give yourself some time. And don't be discouraged even if you don't see an improvement within the first few sessions. Things are happening internally, you just can't see it. But you will see benefits slowly, because I believe a holistic approach to the body. You just provide the body what it needs: air, oxygen, food, right? And it just regenerates itself. Our bodies are so intricately intelligent. They are designed to heal itself, but we just have to provide the right resources. Just like we eat well, we got to take care of the internal. And of course, emotional part is so much part of it.
There we go. Bring it easy to your chest. Come on, here.
Hey, if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification for our latest tips coming to you every week. Share this video with your family and friends. It might just make their day a little bit better. I'll see you soon.